Hi everybody, Corrie here and Sydney. So, sitting here, this is where I sit and contemplate my walk and get ready to move and to go. And there, as you can see, there's another pair of runners over there, but I have a pair on my feet. This is not my first walk today, and this is why I'm sitting here. Kind of give myself a little bit of a time, not a time out because that's punishment. I gave myself a little bit of time to reflect as I sat to listen to the last video that I recorded. And I realized that some of what I'm releasing was coming out in the video. And that's not my intention because the world is spewing enough out there. And I don't want to be a contributing factor to laying energy or reflecting upon what has already gone wrong in the world and where people have gone wrong, where leaders, where healers, where everyone who got trapped in the fear stories has gone wrong. And it's the essence of the power of that, at that, as I say, at that gates of choice in our minds, of do we allow previous stories and history of where we have been in the past, or our fears of not getting our way, and we're angry that things didn't go our way, and so we lash out because we have that sense of humiliation and being humiliated, and so in humiliation we try to backpedal through that humiliation. Or do we take the opportunity of humility and and humbleness, or humility, to allow ourselves to sit in the humbleness of life is so out of our hands, but our life is in the hands of other people in so many ways, and we believed us to be free, but we're never really free. Everything has a cost and everything comes at a cost. And what we have is freedom within us to be able to use our free will to choose on how we're going to show up today, who's going to show up today. And my little dog on the floor, she's my little therapy dog. She's all wet and yucky because her sister was licking her face, but she's normally very cute. And so as I got home, and it was a long video, it's 33 minutes. I may eventually share it, but not at this point. Not at where I am in my life does the video align to who I am today and what I want to represent. But it truly was that reflection of, I don't need to lay that out there. There's a lot of humbling that really truly is going to play out in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming years, as we see that reflection, that narrative to push to get our own way, to get what we think our world should look like, and the cost. And I've posted many videos about what is this going to cost in the long run, instead of just allowing the unfolding to allow things to go as they should. And so a lot of manipulation, cheating, those things have really affected the world and affected where we are. And a lot of, but the story behind it is actually, this is the truth of spiritual and emotional maturity, and and pretending in our dress up clothing of mask personas, roles that we think we play, and trying to, present ourselves as one thing, but also not recognizing that a weak foundation really truly destroys us. So I'm going to do this again, and this time I'm going to do it right. This time I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do it not from letting any of those things that I was releasing, whereas I should have took more time to pause with what I was releasing today. I should have put that in my dump it. I got my exit out journal where I just dump all of that verbal, what's in my mind, out, and so it doesn't come out as verbal diarrhea. And and then I put a big X through it, and I call it, that's the dump, it's gone. And so I empty it right there, and I leave it there. And then I have two more journals, and one is my channeling messages, which plays itself out to whatever it's supposed to be, and the other one's my personal journey. And so there's three of them, always on the go, always in my house. And then I have my phone. that has my notes, and that's where I write my books and my blogs and all of those things. So, putting things in compartments and organizing your mind and your thoughts is very, very important. So that's what I'm doing right now, is that now that I've organized my thoughts, now that I've gotten clarity, now that I've gotten clear with myself, now I'm going to give myself, instead of punish myself or getting caught in my head, I'm going to go walk it through. So I'm going to talk again about what is happening and where we're going. So we are going to leave the house. There are going to be some upset dogs, but we're going to now leave the house once again. And we could fly on my broom, but we'll leave the broom. Isn't that the most fabulous broom? And up above the broom is the essence of Davina. And she's the true essence of the goddess within. And so I keep her there as a reflection. And so we're going to leave. And we're going to walk, not very far today, but we're going to go down the stairs and we're going to take another... Well, you're not. You're on your first walk with me. I am. And I am sore in the back of my hip and down my leg. There's a little bit of body soreness, so I recognize it, that there is something going on that is releasing from me, something that is happening within that I'm just letting go, and I'm recognizing that to be what it is. So we're going to so if I have a little bit of a limp going on, the camera's a little bit wobbly, extra wobbly, that's why, but we're going to let this flow. So tonight, this evening, as we're walking again, we're going to walk my neighborhood. And as we walk the neighborhood, and look, feather, see, you're on the right path now. Now we're on the right path. And so as I walk this, and I think neighborhood, I think of Mr. Rogers. And if you have not watched the movie about Mr. Rogers, I highly suggest you do. It is one of those movies that I wasn't expecting, and it was actually my partner Corrie who said to me, I'm going to put on Mr. Rogers, you're going to sit there and watch it, I'm going to cook supper. And I did. And the love in that man, and his kindness and his patience, oh, unbelievable. But this is what I got from it, and this is what I've really aspired to be. Same with walking with my friend, the spiritual healer that walked on earth at one time, who was just a man, Jesus. When I watched that movie, I recognized something of this level of patience. But in patience, it wasn't just patience, it was stay calm. The most respectful thing and the most dignified thing that we can do for ourselves is in times of chaos, when the world is chaotic around us, when we have this sense of wanting to go into the crazy mad room of chaos, is to reflect into the face of calmness, into the light of love. And that's in our breath. And when you start to take that deep breath and you start to be able to breathe in and breathe out, you can't talk, and you actually can't really process those thoughts. You can't think, right? It's like all you can do is focus on the breath, because you're connecting to source. And that was what I learned, like from the movie. Not that I didn't know it before, but I got the power of it greater than ever. Instead of spewing out the sewage, instead of verbal diarrhea, is to breathe through and put everything into compartments or into perspective in your mind, in your heart. What is this? Where does it belong? And now we got a cricket. And see, these little things catch my attention. I have ADD, by the way. And so, let's jump the rope. Where does this belong? What is this? So we learn to question ourselves so that we can rationalize. As grown-ass adults, we can rationalize with ourselves about what we are experiencing, what it is that is really bothering us today, what it is that's really affecting us, what are we really digging up, what are we really stirring up. And I just wanted to show you like this construction. So right here, beautifully, developing or developed. Over here we have construction. So we can look at everything as not completed, not done. We can see everything that's wrong. We can see everything there's places we should look at, things that are not going right. Or we can breathe through and what is going right. And to be divinely dignified, to show dignity to yourself, is to know that you're worth not letting your body, not letting yourself believe that you are the essence of that anxiety. And so no matter what is happening, most things will be out of your control. And I don't mean, something fated like an accident where there's I just mean your everyday events. And if you learn to stay calm in your everyday events, in your everyday, and you put it in the right compartment and you put it where it belongs, you truly can then start to incorporate this into bigger areas of your life. And we can start to bring in awareness. Now, don't worry, I haven't got this all down pat. Obviously, I recorded 30 minutes of this, but I caught it before I let it go. And I took time to sit with it. And I processed it through and realized that there was some old residues of frustration that were leaving my body. And I didn't spend enough time with it this morning because I got up and distracted myself and went and did some stuff to help my daughter and all those things. And I ignored my morning, for me, routine. I ignored what I needed to do for me. And so in that, I forgot that I hadn't completed before I walked. So I completed. And now I'm doing the walk again. So we're taking some of the unfinished, undeveloped areas, because we all have this undeveloped areas of us because we've been conditioned to certain programming and stories that leave us with images, such as the brain, such as, that your brain itself is your problem, or the brain is broken, or your brain is a mechanical system. Brain, and we look into the brain as being our problem, and it's not. It's our emotions. It's our created stories, our imagery that we create within the brain that causes us to get caught in these stories. So we believe ourselves to be a bigger problem, and we get the stories of wanting something to be responsible, and it truly is about us being able to stop long enough to reflect. I'm trying to find which way I want to go. To reflect on what it is that is really, truly what we are sensing, what we are feeling, what we are connecting to, what we are hearing, what we are filling up on, what we are allowing ourselves to get caught in. And that calm, that sense, and what I learned from Mr. Rogers was to stay calm, to learn the ability to listen even deeper, to be able to be not reactive and responsive to like shutting down the moment somebody starts to speak, even if they're acting up, that you can still stay calm and you can look around and you can feel and you can sense and you can get a new perspective and a new understanding. So I had to really listen to the tone of my own voice as I was speaking today in my video, and how people would perceive that, and what that was going to, how that was going to be received, and how people would be triggered by it, and not that I want people to be, I want people to be able to feel something and to be able to know that when you feel it within, from even my voice as a channel, is that it is giving you the opportunity to say, this is what it feels like in my body. I know it's not about me, and I know it's not personal, and I feel it this way, and I know it's not Corrie. So it means there's something in my body of previous that I'm holding on to that I need to look at. And I need to just focus on that area, whether it's a stomach, whether it's a heart. Okay, what in here? What is trapped in here? What am I feeling in here? And calmly, patiently, breathing it through and knowing that Rome wasn't built in a day. You're not going to be built in a day. You're not going to return to wholeness and completeness. You're not going to be all perfectly fine in a day. But when you start to accept you in a more calm, beautiful essence, in a more calm, beautiful way, you can truly start to recognize what it is that is really, truly, what is really bothering you? What is really on your mind today? What is affecting your energy today? What is having you run to the cupboard and munch on chips? What is having you doing something that's out of character to the path and the way that you have started to walk? What old habit is coming back in? And then question it. What can I do today to change this within me? How do I restore my sense of inner peace? And then stop and breathe. And breathe that through. And just let it flow. Let it come in. And all I did, any different, today I walked an hour earlier. And all I did right here, right now, was I held myself accountable and responsible to know that I didn't want to put out that first video. I sat with it. I cleared it. I released it. Took ownership for my own healing. And then I walked out that green door. And I walked around that block, up and around, went out and showed you a little bit of that construction, walked around the back of the houses and back through the trail. 20 minutes. That's it. Not even probably. Yeah, maybe 20. That's it. It was so simple. You have 24 hours in your day. 24 hours. That's what you have each and every day, in your life, of every day. So, and in that 24 hours, imagine, I can't tell you how many moments, imagine how many moments are in that day. I'm getting ready to do some sage and stuff. So in that, I'm right back sitting here. Open the door, let my dogs out. So as you're sitting, as you say, oh, I don't have time for that, or you just let yourself get spiraled in a moment, one moment can cause a day or a lifetime of chaos. Or one moment to breathe, to go stay calm, to reflect, to put things in compartments, can change a whole life. 15, 20 minutes a day with you can really change your relationships, change your connection, and change how you are in relation to you. That's how we start this journey of coming home to us. To not fear spending time with you, and to not to punish yourself, not to criticize yourself, not to judge, but to accept that we all have these moments and we all have this within us. But if we can just breathe and just stay calm, if we can just rationalize with ourselves, recognize it instead of allowing ourselves to spiral, because that spiraling has been so conditioned to us. We are taught it everywhere. Think now, do now, go now, right now. You only have this moment. You only have this time. It's that impulsiveness that is being sold to us in a way of having to decide right now and having to purchase right now, buy into right now. You don't have to buy into anything. You don't even have to buy into your own bullshit right now. You truly can give yourself time to process your own thoughts, spend time with you, and trust that when you do that, you learn to trust you, trust your own thought, think for yourself, make your own wise decisions, and you start to connect to the wise one within. And when you connect to the wise one within, trust me, your life changes. Much, much love, and have a beautiful day.